And now, your host, Barry McGuire.
For car guys, the Ford GR-1 is one of the most exciting concept cars to come out of Detroit in years. And we were there for yet another Car Crazy exclusive to capture the first unveiling of the GR-1 with a host of car guy celebrities who will tell you why the design of this incredible car makes them so car crazy.
Car crazy!
Ladies and gentlemen, the car you're about to see is called the Shelby GR-1. Enjoy it. Wow.
The man of the hour is Jay Mays, who's head of design for Ford Motor Company worldwide, and I've seen you in a lot of fun, happy occasions, but tonight is, I must say, the most special moment I have shared with you.
Yeah, you are always so gracious, I'm telling you. You're right. I'm a happy camper tonight.
A lot of significant people here. Jack Telnick was just talking to us about.
He kissed me.
He says, "I want one."
I said, for God's sake, my predecessor kissed me. I think that's a good sign.
Not bad.
Yeah, really good.
I've not heard anything short of just spectacular reviews. I mean, everybody
it's funny.
Wow.
I ran into Harley Cluxton, who's been nagging me for a GT and is just about to take delivery. And he said, for God's sake, if you don't build this, he said, my head's going to explode. I think that everybody that's seen this car tonight sort of mirrors the feeling that the design team has, that if there's any way that we could possibly get this thing into production, that would be the right thing to do for the brand.
Really. Beautiful on the outside, absolutely awesome underneath the skin.
This is 605 horsepower, 10-cylinder. It's the same aluminum space frame, same almost 50-50 weight distribution that the Cobra Roadster had.
Yeah, the Roadster.
And we owe that all to this sort of spiritual performance leader, Carroll, who helped us kind of get there on that car. I see this really as a gift to him. And I came back and I said, look, Carroll, the Cobra we did was lovely. It was a beautiful car. It was gorgeous. But at the same time, I think it sort of turned out a little bit Teutonic. It looked slightly German. And we wanted to really come up with a car that was voluptuous, that was sensual, and that sort of embodied some of the flavor of the original Sebring, but without at all looking too closely back over our shoulder.
It has its own stance, particularly from the rear.
Yeah,
it's just powerful.
It's funny because it's got an amazing sort of rear fender flare, and the cabin, when you can see that coming in from the top three-quarter view, pulls in as though you've taken a rubber band and just pulled it back over the roof, and you're just about to let it go. And it's a really exciting car.
We've caught up with one of the most famous car designers to ever come out of Detroit. He really needs no introduction, Jack Telnick. All the great cars you did for Ford. I was watching your reaction as Jay Mays pulled the drape off this. I think you like this car.
I've got to tell you, this. As a matter of fact, I ran right over to Jay immediately and grabbed him and hugged him and kissed him. I said, "This is the most sensational thing that he's done since he got there." I was waiting for this car. I mean, Jay has really, really just completed the full circle now. I know that he's got what it takes to do hot cars, and this is it. What can I say except I want one?
Car crazy.
Here's the executive editor for Motor Trend, Matt Stone. And Matt, we've seen a lot of previews together. This one's pretty amazing.
This one's pretty fun. This one is hot. It's an unabashedly aggressive front-engine GT. I think the proportions are excellent. It's aggressive, good fun. I like it. This car has it, and I think it is truly wowing the people. It's a classic design without being retro. Anything with Shelby's name on it is going to get a certain amount of attention.
A lot of cool jobs in the hobby. You have one of the best of the best.
I'm a very average guy with a way better than average job.
Car crazy.
Here's a car guy that needs no introduction, Steve Saleen, Saleen Performance. And how many years back? I mean, you came into my offices like in the early 80s, something like that.
I came to your office. You were one of the first person that I came to in trying to get involved. You were one of the first that came, and I said, I have this idea, and I'm going to be building a Saleen Mustang, and you were one of the first that did not say no. You did not turn me away and say that
I
I
was impressed
crazy.
from the get-go. I remember that meeting so clearly, and it's been so fun to watch you throughout your career. You've had a great run at it, and I know the best days are yet to come. Congratulations,
Well,
man.
great. Thanks, Barry.
Car crazy.
Mr. October himself, Reggie Jackson. Hey, it's kind of nice for them to bring this event to your doorstep every year.
There you go. That's it. This is all done for me.
You play ball with your heart. I mean, like nobody we ever saw. you collect cars the same way. I mean, it's a real passion for you. You love cars.
I love cars, Barry, and gosh, I've known you for when I had hair and yours was black. I'll tell you what I did this last week. I had a buddy of mine that was at Hot August Nights. He calls me up and he says, Reggie, you're not going to believe this, but the 67 red Corvette that you sold 10 years ago is here at the auction. I said, buy it back. It's an old friend.
Come on.
So
Come on.
It showed up in my garage yesterday, and it's like having an old friend around. I was sorry that I sold it.
Car crazy.
We've caught up with Camilo Pardo, who is, of course, the designer of the new Ford GT, which is one awesome car. Now getting your take on what we're seeing here tonight.
Well, I was just saying that this car has definitely captured the true essence of the Daytona Coupe. I was also saying that this car here has a true meaning of a fastback. When you can take a line from the header right after the windshield and just draw a gracious line right back to the rear spoiler in one nice movement.
Welcome back to McGuire's Car Crazy and all the excitement happening here at the unveiling of the Ford GR-1.
We're able to catch up with George Sadidakis, who is the designer of this amazing car. George, well done, man. It's an interesting story. I think our viewers are going to be fascinated at how long it took you to design this magnificent car.
Yeah, it didn't take very long at all. It was an idea just rolling around the studio, and one weekend in November last year, a few sketches later that weekend, the design was born. And Jay Mays, he saw the sketches and he was very happy, I think, and he gave me the opportunity, and this is the result of it.
3 sketches, folks, right?
3 sketches.
3 sketches.
One design, 3 sketches.
Wow. That was a good day.
It was one of those rare days that your pen does all the talking and you don't have to think too much about it.
Jack Tellick just stopped by, and one of the famous designers from Ford, from all Detroit, say, well, what took you so long? Were you distracted on the weekend or what?
I think it must have been. One was enough, I think.
Awesome. Yeah. So tell us, what was going through your mind? I mean, you have this awesome responsibility. The Roadster was brought out, this amazingly engineered car.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
You're given the opportunity to put a coupe body on it.
Well, that's exactly it. I mean, you have this engineering and this awesome ability, the powerful ability of this chassis. Can you create something beautiful and inspirational and emotional that can capture everybody's hearts when you see it on the road? So you've got the power, the emotion, the smell, and then you have the vision of it as well. And that's what I wanted to see.
And the legacy, and all the motorsports coming back, and the Carroll Shelby and all he means to motorsports.
Carroll Shelby is amazing. He's very close to Ford, to our hearts.
Right.
And this is, as Jay Mays said, this is a gift to Carroll Shelby.
And were there certain cars that influenced you more than others for the past?
There's quite a few. Of course, there are some possibly obvious ones, such as the Daytona Coupe. But it's all about proportion and stance. And when you have a classic sports car, and you see the classic stance and proportion, you think about Ferrari 250, the GTO, of course, Aston Martin's front end, any front engine classic 60s sports racer is in here. It's the ghost of all these cars.
These are George's parents. Introduce your parents right quick.
Oh, this is John and Brenda.
I just couldn't believe that this thing could be happening, but it is. It's a dream come true.
Did you ever think your son would be in the middle of such a famous point in automotive history?
Well, I believed he was very, very good. But to be this good, I don't know. I can't say.
Kind of proud, huh?
Very, very proud.
Proud dad.
Car crazy.
Barry, I want you to tell me what you think of the car. First bite, what's your first reaction?
Wow.
The old original Daytona Coupe was terrible aerodynamically, but we can make this one work.
Talk about that for a minute. What was done there?
First, it was just a sketch, and then we had to build it. We put cotton tufts on it, took it to the racetrack, they all went forward. Then the cam effect, which makes it very difficult because the air coming over the front of it, not that is the big thing, but then it gets distorted, and we had to put a spoiler that high on it. And the only way we ever outran Ferrari for the World Championship was because we had so much more torque in the engine. But with this car, now aerodynamically, you can make this work because you engineer the bottom of the car so the air flows and it stays on the ground. The first Daytona Coupe, it wanted to take off for the moon at 145 miles an hour going down the straightaway.
Had to have been so much fun for you to be called back in on this project and work hand in hand with your old buddies at Ford.
And it's wonderful to work with a company where you got a guy at the top. When he wants something done, he gets it done. So let's hope they build a car.
Yeah. But Jay Mays, this team,
Jay's
Jay
team is just, he's got the most wonderful young group of guys, I think, in the business. And he lets them go. He finds them and he says, let's see what you can do. They're way ahead of my old guys years ago that worked with us at Shelby American. And these guys with college education, it's just fun to work with them. And no telling what will happen in the automobile industry.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Think of the budget for this car versus the budget you had back when you were doing your cars.
I remember the GT350. Icoca came to me and says, you want to make a sport car out of this. And my guys tried and nobody listens to them. So I went to SCCA and asked John Bishop what we had to do. He said, take the back seats out, hop the suspension up, hop the engine up, put bigger brakes on it.
Right.
I said, fine. I said, we'll need about $15,000. They said, fine, go do it. You got $1,500.
True story.
Yeah.
True story. Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah.
But we did it. I thought when we built those things years ago, it all disappeared.
Yeah,
It didn't disappear.
yeah. Look at it.
Still.
What you
and
found.
here we are.
Carroll, you know what's best about tonight?
What?
You're still kicking, man. You're here to enjoy this.
And I'm still upright.
When